Welcome to our podcast. You're listening to All Night by Ikeson at www.ikesonmusic.com. So glad you're here. Welcome to Why Complain When You Can Whine, making sense of the senseless, attempting to make sense of toxic nonsense while drinking wine. I am Dr. Jody Larman, licensed clinical psychologist in the state of California. Therefore, anything and everything we discuss on this podcast is purely for entertainment or psychoeducational purposes only. And tonight, because of our guest, I know you were here and I was just here, so I am using it's hard to see. Oh man, my HautéMess Mexico.
Oh,
there you go.
HautéMess was great. I loved HautéMess.
Brief little backstory. Spiritual Whistleblowers went on a cruise. I was going on another cruise to a totally different place and ended up, we went to the same place a week apart.
Yes, our ships must have passed by at some point.
Yep. And if I would have known, there were ships. I saw ships. I would have waved. I did wave.
We went to Ocean Cay, Bahamas. We stayed for 2 days and we sailed, and then we ended up in Costa Maya. And that was a hot mess because the Carnival cruise ship, I was on MSC, but there was a Carnival cruise ship and I think a Royal Caribbean ship. We all docked at the same time. It was people everywhere. God. And it was disgustingly humid. And then me and my girlfriend, when we got there, they're like, "Oh, your excursion is canceled." I said, "Excuse me? We're going back on our boat." I was in a yacht club on MSC, which is awesome, by the way. We went back and we just, we made the best of it on the cruise ship. But HautéMess was something else. I really enjoyed HautéMess. It was nice. Yeah.
I've been there. We went on a Disney cruise. We've been on 11. This was our 11th Disney cruise.
I love Disney. I tried it one time with my daughter.
Awesome. What ship did you go on?
It was so long ago. Name some names. I'll tell you.
Magic or Wonder? Probably the Magic or the Wonder.
Magic. No, Magic. It was Magic.
Yeah. They have the Magic, the Wonder, the Fantasy, the Dream, and they just have the Wish, and the Treasure is coming out. But we've been on the Magic, the Wonder, and the Fantasy. And so we picked this cruise specifically because we've been on 10. So we've been all over and we wanted somewhere different. So we picked Bermuda because we go with another family that we happened to meet on a cruise 10 years ago on a Disney cruise to the Panama Canal. So we met them and we end up going to Disney and Disney cruises with them now. There are travel partners. So we picked the Bahamas, and the day before we were leaving, Disney sent out an email saying because of Hurricane Lee. And let me tell you, this is what makes it even worse. My ex's name.
No. And
I'm like, are you kidding me?
It better not be the name of the hurricane.
This bastard is not going to ruin my time. Oh my God. And I bet you he was probably, because this is the narcissist that he is. He was probably like, yeah, I'm this hurricane that's going to be the toughest hurricane. Like they named it literally after him as a person. He would.
What is the irony of that? That is crazy.
I was like, you've got to be kidding me. So we ended up going to HautéMess, which I've been now 4 times. Grand Cayman. We went to their island, Castaway Key, twice, and the Bahamas. Now the weather was hot as fuck.
Yeah.
Hot. Smooth seas, great sailing. And then we got to Bahamas and we went to go on our excursion. And when we got to the boat that we were going on, the skies opened up. Downpour, like probably what's going on in New York right now.
Oh yeah.
It was terrible. So we went back to the ship and just kicked it and I love sea days on the ship much. I love sea days better than ports, actually.
Oh yeah, because me and my girlfriend, we actually, because the excursion was canceled and it was terrible in Costa Maya, we went back to the ship. We ended up having a pajama day in our room. Like we rented movies all day and we had free room service, so we had hot pizza and we was drunk off of our fucking Chardonnay. They kept, So we ended up having a pajama girl day in our room the whole day. And it was like so good. It was everything. So yeah, the at sea days I really enjoy.
And sorry, but I just realized my camera is like, sorry, all over the
That's
place.
okay.
So
That's okay.
That was
I'm
that was super podcast professional. Like I have never done this before. I apologize. My arms everywhere. Close up of my
Yeah.
tattoo.
Yeah.
Always. So,
That's okay.
but my wine today is California because I'm back home. California Dream.
Yay!
It is a red blend. So I got some vacation with me, and my water bottle, because I have to have water when I'm drinking, is my Disney 25th anniversary of their cruises. So
yes,
Magic Meets the Sea 2023, and it's got a little Mickey on this. So
aww. So Ocean K, I'm trying because my daughter's my daughter's
I don't hear
20.
you.
You don't hear me? Hello? My mic is on.
Okay, there it goes. This is again so lovely. We've only done like a year of podcasts, but that's what makes it so much fun. It was probably that I just couldn't hear you, but everybody else could. I am so sorry.
No, it's okay. With Disney, if you could help me refresh my memory, because it's my daughter is 23 and I took her on the Disney cruise about 10 years ago. And I know one of the stops is that is it Ocean K where they do the barbecue on the island? Castaway K. Yes.
And it's,
that was
they have
so
cookies,
good.
barbecue and cookies too. And then they have Serenity Bay, which is the adult side that has adult barbecue there. Yeah.
My daughter had the best time. And then they had the club for the kids on the boat. She like left me the whole day. She was in that club. I had to pull her out that club.
Yep.
Free ice cream all day and pizza. I said, come in the room. Like she stayed all day. Mm-hmm. I had to like drag her out of the kids club. So you just brought back memories. I may consider a Disney cruise in the future.
They're even for adults. Like my son started when he was 8 and he started it on the clubs. He went to the kids club, the teens club, the young adults club, and now he's 21. So he just kind of makes friends as he goes. But him and his friend ran the club. They used to they did a homecoming and I was just reading in my Facebook memories, he got 7 of the 10 awards at the homecoming. He was named Homecoming King. And it was like, because of my son having disabilities and having gone to social skills therapy and all that, just seeing that was like, just warmed my heart. So
yeah.
Wow, well, I'm glad you had a good time. In case any of you are wondering, if you have not watched our podcast, then you're like, who is that other person? Only the 4th time you've been on, and I'm so happy that you're here. Spiritual Whistleblower is back.
Hi, hello, hi. Hi, everybody. Glad to be back.
We're old friends now. We just talk. You know?
Yes. Hi, Doc.
What are you drinking?
Oh my God. Well, if you've been watching the fucking news today, New York is like upside down from this fucking flooding. So I started to buy wine, but I went to the fucking liquor store. I'm on tequila. I just listen, I'm trapped indoors. I cooked. I said, I'm not leaving the house the fucking weekend. The rats are running around wild because the floods brought them from underground. And they're underneath our cars and trying to find I'm not walking. They will come out in the daylight and they will walk over your feet. So it's a liquor day. So I'm enjoying tequila.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Cheers. Oh my God. I went to New York once, just for a day on a Disney cruise. We stopped in New York. And I'm a California person. You have people that are either East Coast or West Coast, and they're diehard East Coast or diehard West Coast. And I was like, okay, I could be here because I walked across the street. I was like, disregard for rules and whatever. And my ex is walking with his backpack. He's like, do I look like a native, a local? And I'm like, God, no. God, no. You're waiting at the traffic light when there's no cars. No, you don't. But it smelled. And they put their trash out on the street in bags. That's weird.
Yeah.
I don't understand that.
Oh,
But I
now
would
it's
love to
washing
do
afloat area. It's in the water now.
that.
It's all over in the water.
Oh God. That,
Ebola crisis, you name it. Don't touch the water in the streets. Don't walk in it.
oh my God. That's so true. People are gonna get sick.
Listen, they
Ugh.
don't care here. They don't fucking care. They don't.
Are
I
the
care. I've been inside all day. You will not see me walking in that fucked up water whatsoever.
are
No.
the subways running?
No. The buses, they're running now, but earlier today, everything was out.
Oh God.
Everything was out. The buses were flooding. People were putting their feet on the seats because the water was coming in the buses. So yeah, no.
Oh wow.
When
And
you
this,
understand what's in the water, that's sewage water you guys are walking through. I said, I couldn't do it. No way. No.
yeah.
Dead, I saw dead rats. They were bloated. You know how the gas blows up the body when it's dead. There were bloated rats. I said, oh my God, no, you couldn't. I'm not touching that water. I'm not walking through it. No,
Oh
no.
God. How
Yeah,
far into
disgusting.
New York City did it? Because I have not actually been watching the news. I did see right before one of your videos of a flood. That's how I
Mhm.
knew that there was a flood. But how far into New York has it gotten? Is it everywhere?
It's everywhere. Even upstate New York, I saw some horrible videos of floods
Oh
upstate
God.
New York. But where I live, I'm in Lower Manhattan, and I'm by the water. So
Oh,
I'm right by the highway on the east. The whole highway was shut down. It was hard. I'm looking out my window like, oh my God, look at the police directing traffic. But no, I was told in my neighborhood that people that live in basement apartments had to evacuate because water went in their apartments in the basement.
oh
So
God.
yeah. Brooklyn got hit very bad. I know that Queens did too, but Lower Manhattan got really, yeah, I saw it myself.
Oh
So yeah,
wow.
it's like
Well,
Hurricane Sandy. I'm like, this is like Hurricane Sandy. This is like flashbacks.
I'm glad you're safe, and hopefully tomorrow. I mean, it's going to be nasty when things have to dry out.
Oh God, we're not even gonna talk about the cleanup. We're
Oh,
not gonna talk about the cleanup.
cheers again.
I'm gonna run to my Jeep and check under the hood to make sure the rats weren't chewing and sleeping underneath my hood. I paid
Oh,
$2,000 last year. They fucked my shit up last year. They will destroy your car. So that's
oh
the first thing. When I wake
God.
up in the morning, I'm going to run and check my engine to make sure it's intact. Cause listen.
Really? They've chewed it. Oh man.
2000, they locked my steering wheel. They chewed the wires that control my steering wheel. It locked. So I took it to the dealership. They're like, this is $2,000. You want us to fix this? The rats chewed your shit up.
Oh
Yes.
God.
Yes. Yes.
I see. It's making New York sound even way more appealing. Just like I can't wait to go again.
Well, you just stay in the tourist area because the rest of this shit is for. Listen. I'll be moving in the next few years. I'm not going to be here forever. It's and our mayor is a piece of trash. Speaking of psychopaths, he's yeah.
Oh, really?
The worst mayor in history. Yeah, he's terrible.
Well, then you have used to be I don't want to get political, but then you have a crazy ex-mayor too. So
Oh, who? What? Giuliani? Which
yeah.
one are you talking about? Yeah,
Yeah.
Giuliani, De Blasio. But this mayor right now is so bad with the immigrant crisis. They're pushing homeless people, New Yorkers that are homeless. They're pushing them upstate, and they're to make room for the immigrants to take over the homeless shelters. And I'm like, after today, and all these people that are flooded out that live here in New York, they're going to need shelter now. They
Yeah.
have nowhere to go. So he's the worst fucking mayor in the history of New York. He's worse than Giuliani. I promise you. He's awful. God awful. Eric Adams.
Nowadays, going into our topic, I don't know, to be honest. I think it's a little of both. When you talk about like horrible people. Now I know that everybody calls everybody a narcissist, no matter what. Bad person, I don't like them, narcissist. And that is not the case. You can be a narcissistic type person, full of yourself, egocentric. That does not make you NPD.
You have the traits, right?
However, I'm trying to think if it's because of social media and the ability to know what's going on around the world, like almost in real time and in real time, for the most part. Are we seeing more, or are we just seeing what's always been there? We just didn't see it.
I think it's a combination of both. I just think social media put a magnifying glass on it. I think it's always been this way. It's just now that social media has exposed it and magnified it. And, we're seeing psychopaths everywhere. Like, and the fact that they want access, and social media grants them access to spy on everybody and their exes. And it's just crazy right now. It really is.
I do believe, obviously we use social media, and I believe it's a blessing and a curse, because there is so much good stuff that you could get off of social media, but then you also have to really be careful, because there is a lot of evil and disinformation and things being used for nefarious ways, and for people who are toxic anyways. It's in some ways so much easier to, for lack of a better description, fuck with somebody.
Right. Trolling and bullying. Yes. Yeah.
And you can spread your hatred and spread your whatever about this person, the vitriol about this person, and get other people to believe it, right or wrong. You see, if there's somebody on the internet that makes a mistake, or is perceived to have made a mistake, and then all of a sudden their life is ruined from being doxxed and all that stuff. Now, depending on what that mistake, I mean, there have been women, unfortunately, who have gone on and said, this guy did this, and then everybody goes after the guy. And I saw a video where I think it was the one that does the tea. The guy that does the tea, was it not Jolly Green Ginger? I don't know. One of the guys
yeah, I like him. Yeah, it's Jolly Green. I like him with the
or
orange.
Whatever his name.
Red hair.
Yeah, he does the tea. Well, he did a whole video on this girl that was like, the guy we were supposed to meet, I met him on TikTok. It was great. It was wonderful. And we were planning, and she did one of those, 3 weeks out, 2 weeks out, 1 week out, the day of. And then she's like, never mind, he's not coming. And so everybody bashed the guy and went after the guy. And the real reason he didn't come is like, he goes, I actually had to work and they disapproved my vacation. They took it from me. So we were planning on another day to go. But she posted that video with no explanation. So everybody's jumping on me, thinking
she changed the narrative to make herself look like the fucking victim.
And it went viral pretty much, and everybody went to his. But then and he said, can you please clarify your video? And she's like, no, because it already had received, 1 million views or whatever.
She's got her narc supply already. So it did what she wanted it to do. It went viral. Screw him. I needed the attention and the supply. So no, I'm not changing anything.
And then when she got called out, it's like, that wasn't my intention.
No. Yes, it was.
I'm sorry that you guys interpreted my video without any explanation, because that's what I wanted you to do. But that's not what I meant. It wasn't meant to bash him. So I think we're also seeing a lot of that on social media now too, where
you sound like Kim Kardashian. That phone call between her and not Chloe, what's the other, Courtney, that's going viral right now. You sound just like, did you hear about that?
No, I have not.
Every narcissistic trait came out of Kim on that phone call, and the whole social media is dragging her for it.
Oh,
that's all I will say. You're with the way that you're describing this young woman and what she did to this man. That's what Kim did to Courtney on the call, and then Courtney ended up in tears by the end of the call. Kim was deflecting, and it wasn't me, and me, and she teamed up with Courtney's friends and had a group chat about her and gossiped about her. It's like, it's all, Kim is terrible. Oh, Kim is awful.
Don't care for them. Yeah. And I think
I don't like all of them.
Now it's also so much easier that even if you're not NPD or a cluster B, but if you're toxic, it is easy to post a video and then be like, oh, I'm sorry if that's, like I have said before, I'm sorry if I did not mean to offend you. I really didn't. And if that's how it came across, I apologize. There's a difference between that and going, I didn't, you know damn well when you plan something to go a certain way, I guess is how I should say it. Like,
yes,
you know how everybody's going to interpret something. And then you're like, I'm so sorry. If that's how you guys interpreted it. And so I think you get a lot of, it's a lot
that wasn't my
easier.
intent. That wasn't my intent. And listen, no. I
But
hate
you
when
do
they do that.
nothing to correct it. That's the thing. You do nothing to correct it. If that
Absolutely.
wasn't your intention, then you would make a video saying, my intention was actually,
right.
And I worded it, even if it's not. See, there's so much disingenuous. And now it's getting harder to know because people are getting to be really good actors too.
Super.
So what is genuine and what is not? That's a hard one too. And so you have to go back and you have to know the person, look at the person sometimes. Let me ask you, someone asked me this question and I know immediately what my thought was. They were asking, they had sent a text to someone that said, well, I think that possibly, like my friends were saying, this specific trait, I'm going to paraphrase, you know, I think you might be seeing someone else or with someone else, because like you can't, the way that you're responding and reacting and all of that, it kind of doesn't sound like it sounds, let me backstory. If you can only see me every so often, you're unavailable except for when you are available. That kind of sounds a little fishy to me. Like something's going on. Now, if their response is, oh, well, you're the same way, so I could say the same about you. Okay. So what
gaslighting.
Yeah. What do you think that is?
Gaslighting. Like, we should, you know, I'm bringing up a concern that's bothering me and you're putting it back on me instead of like trying to bring me, you really care about me and love me. You're going to try to resolve the issue that I'm bringing up. Even if you feel you don't have an issue, you're seeing how much it triggers and bothers me. If you really love me, you're going to resolve it. You're not going to deflect and put it back on me. And you put it back on me and try to highlight my issues. Oh no, you're a manipulator. That's it.
And odds are you are doing something that I'm believing that you're doing, because yeah, if it's like, well, you're doing this, well, so are you. Okay, well, you never.
You're justifying why you do it.
Yeah, there's no. Okay, wait a minute. You never answered the question, or you never denied the question.
Right.
I'm seeing a lot of that kind of stuff too going on. And again, I have been in this field since 1992, practicing in this field. I've had my license since 2005. And I'm seeing more and more. And I don't know, again, is it just that I'm more in tuned with this? But I am seeing so much of the deflection and the gaslighting and the mind fucking circular talk from people more than I've ever heard before.
I saw a video. I don't know if you follow Dr. Jordan Peterson, but he mentioned the power that social media has with psychopaths. He said this new age, we're going to see psychopaths are really abusing it into the grounds.
Yeah.
It's a scary time for
people
empaths.
Don't understand is abuse. I think from what I see on social media, from the comments that I get on my posts about abuse, people still have this notion, and I see it a lot in Gen Z, actually, more than anything, That abuse is more like physical abuse. Or, well, you're not hurt, so it's not abuse.
They don't acknowledge the emotional component of abuse.
And don't
whatsoever.
realize, like manipulation. I've had people say to me that exploitation, because interpersonal exploitation is an NPD trait. And they'll say, well, but that's not abuse. It's like, when you exploit someone, that means that you are using them for your benefit.
Yes.
That is abuse. And they'll say, no, it's not. Because like, if I need someone to work for me, then I'm going to call in sick, so that person will have to take my shift. But you're abusing that person in a way, because you're not sick. You're exploiting their ability to work for your own personal gain. That is abuse. Just because you don't think it's abuse, it's abuse.
Right.
So people don't look at that kind of stuff. There's, like we had talked about, there's financial abuse, there's cyber abuse, there's immigration abuse, there's emotional abuse. There's a lot of different types of abuse. And people just think, well, yelling is abuse. I had someone, they were saying, well, they're not really abusive. We just never speak. They don't ever speak to me anymore. We're in a marriage, but they don't ever speak to me.
Abuse.
That's what I said. I go, that's still abusive.
Mm-hmm.
That's emotional abuse. That's psychological abuse.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying everybody should run around saying, I've been abused. You didn't talk to me. It's abuse. But when you've been in relationships that have been abusive, and then you notice it when people aren't communicating with you, when people are, I mean, if somebody says, let's see, I'm trying to think of a good example. If somebody says, well, I need you to do this for me. And if you were a really good friend, you would do this for me. I'm giving
That's manipulation.
And it's not really, again, just people are not bad people, and they're not manipulative overall if they only do this kind of once or twice, because we probably all have done
right.
Hey, can you do this for me? I need you to do this for me, whatever.
Someone that practices on a daily basis, they do this all the time.
Yeah, that's the thing. When it is a pattern of what they do over and over and over,
it's their way of life. It's how they function every day. They can't get by every day unless they're manipulating somebody. Then it's a problem.
And manipulation comes in many forms. And I know you were talking about earlier financial abuse. You and I were talking about it briefly, chatted about it. There are a lot of people who don't handle the money in their home.
Right.
And they don't see the money in their home. And they get an allowance possibly. Now, that's not a bad thing. Like if you have a couple and they agree, you're going to get this much, we're going to get this much for this. It's like budgeted.
Yes.
Everybody has access to the account. It's a joint account. They both have access to it. They both know what's going on. But for our budget, I get to spend $200 discretionary dollars every 2 weeks or whatever. That is not financial abuse. Financial abuse is you get $200. Don't ask questions. I get your paycheck, or you don't get a paycheck. So you don't even get to say a word about the money. The money's in my name. I may not necessarily pay the bills, but I'll tell you what bills to pay. So you could write the checks, send them off, or, do whatever you have to do for auto pay, because I'm not touching that. But you are not going to know shit about the finances in this house.
Or we can spin it around to the brokies that actually use their wives. The wives is paying most of the bills because he needs extra money to spend on his side chick. That's financial abuse too. Or like, I don't know if you saw the Tyler Perry fucking viral video where he's telling Black women that we should be happy with what we can get. If a man is willing to just offer to pay the electricity bill, we need to just be happy with that. I said, that's financial abuse right there. Why the fuck would I settle for that shit? I might as well be single. I could pay my own goddamn bill. That's financial abuse. Yeah, he said that. Yes, he did.
Oh, and I really liked him too. Or I thought I did.
No, you know what he did, Doc? He's a big narc because he hid his misogyny until he made his money off the backs of Black women. He built his audience. He got filthy fucking rich. Now he's in a position where he's a fucking billionaire. The mask can come off. He can say what he wants. So now he's basically, that misogyny came on out, and you got to know his childhood upbringing. He was molested and abused by, his father or stepfather, and his mother didn't do anything about it. So he has that hidden resentment towards mom. And it came out in that interview. You're telling Black women supported you all these years. We made you filthy rich. You're telling us to fucking settle for a fucking light bill when you should be making, you should be targeting men and telling them to step their shit up and raise their standards and do better. You're telling us to settle. That's financial abuse to me. I'd rather be fucking single than to be with a man that cannot. I want to be provided for. I look at the women in Dubai. I saw a video today of a wife in Dubai. She gets a fucking allowance, but her allowance is so fucking big. She shops at all the luxury stores every day. Her husband takes good care of her. Mm-hmm. Hey, I'll sign up for that. Give me a fucking allowance. My husband, I'm well taken care of. Hey, we good. But you're telling women to settle for a man that can only pay the fucking light bill. If you don't get the entire fuck out of here, Tyler. Yes, he did say that to us.
And you know what's even more scary about that is because typically financial abuse doesn't stand by itself.
No.
There's verbal abuse. There's other abuse going on there. Because a man isn't just, he'll take care of you. If he's going to give you this big ass allowance, he's probably treating her well, whatever. But when someone is potentially, you're lucky that I'm paying the light bill, they're probably not like, oh my God, I'm going to wine you and dine you and treat you like a queen in every other aspect. Oh, hell no.
No, he's going to resent you. He's going to resent you, number one, because you're more ambitious and work driven than he is. And he's envious that you're getting, he's put you in this space where you have to be more masculine than him. And he's now the feminine, in the relationship, the dynamic. So what does he do? He's going to cheat on you to make himself feel better because you're the fact that you're more ambitious and you're the breadwinner, even though he's happy you're paying most of the bills, he's going to resent you. I've done this so many times in relationships. I've made more money and it never ends well. No matter how much you do for the guy, spoil him, cook for him, he will end up resenting you in the end.
The benefit of that, if you will, indulge for a minute, because those same guys are not going to be good guys anyways. Because it's like, well, if I wouldn't have done that, or if I wouldn't have been so independent, maybe. It's like, no, they're that way on purpose because initially they love that independent part of you because they don't have to put money out.
Right.
But then it's like they also don't like that they don't like that you can take care of yourself and you don't need them.
That too, resentment.
Yep. And the good thing is because you don't need them, unfortunately, when they do leave, it's for the best, actually. But it's like you're not as emotionally and physically, and I mean emotionally and psychologically, yes, it hurts. But it's like, okay, I can tomorrow, like when my ex, I have my own home. I'm self-sufficient. I didn't need him to support me. So thank goodness when we split up, it was like my life kept going. I didn't have to pick up the pieces of that. Yeah, right. Mentally, emotionally, and all that, it was hard. But as far as picking up the pieces of my life, no, it was like see ya. My life goes on, my bills are paid.
That's
I don't
right.
skip a beat. So being independent, because people might hear and go, well, then maybe I'll just let them, like I've had people say you shouldn't put that you're a psychologist or tell them you're a psychologist when you're dating.
Why not? That's
exactly. It's like, if a man can't handle them, that's on him. If he has a problem with my education and my level of, I have a doctorate degree and all that, that's his fault or his problem, not mine. But sadly, women will be like, okay, well, I'll dumb myself down in essence.
And you should never do that because it never ends well.
No.
Never.
No. And that same guy who took advantage of you because you were independent, because that's what they're doing. They're taking advantage of it, but yes, they resent it, but they take advantage of it, but they resent it.
Yep.
And so that's hard for them. But at least when they leave, you do have the satisfaction of, I am still independent. I am still self-sufficient. Whereas they now have to find, sadly, someone who isn't self-sufficient so that they can string them along, make them dependent on them, and then discard them regardless.
Oh, they run and hide in their next relationship, and they try to hide behind the woman. Oh, we're wonderful, we're doing well, blah 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 blah. That's all they do is hide. But I figured out.
Go on, sorry.
I also figured out that what I saw is a pattern too with these men, especially the men raised by toxic single mothers. If their mothers crippled them in a way that they want their sons to be loyal to them before their wives, and like their mothers have taught them a system of I'm going to disable you and cripple you, but I don't want your wife to make you a better man than what I did. It's like he goes out into the world and he repeats the same cycle that his mother taught him. So in essence, when he gets with you and he knows you're more successful and you make more money than him, yeah, it's good for the moment. You're paying all the bills and you're making his life easier financially, but he's still, he knows in his heart he's supposed to be the man. He's supposed to lead, provide, and all of that. That's where the resentment come in. He's going to do what his mama taught him to do. What has been normalized in childhood is, my mama crippled me, so now I'm going to cripple you. I'm going to drag you and use you for all your money. I have a gambling addiction, porn addiction, weed, alcohol. He's going to need money for different things. And because we're so loving and we think we're building a future with this man, we're going to get married, that's what he wants. We end up giving him, we end up becoming the mother and giving him money and stuff. And we end up getting broke, our credit suffers, and he leaves us and our finances suffer. So these men end up crippling us before they discard us.
Oh, of course.
Super successful women, their finances are all the way fucked up by the end of the relationship. And that's something he learned from his family, his mother or whatever. It's a system of disabling and crippling somebody, and then discarding them like trash before you walk off into the sunset with your new lover.
Have you ever seen the show? It was on TLC. I don't know if it's still on or not, but it was called Mama's Boy, or I'm in love with a mama's boy, or I'm with a mama's boy, or something like that.
I've heard of it, but I haven't seen the series.
I watched some of it because sometimes my son and my like guilty pleasure is 90 Day Fiance. We'll have it on and we'll talk about it. But and so this was on, I think, after it. But it's like the mom, it's like, it's pretty disgusting that the moms are like this with the men, and the men are so enmeshed in the mom. It's almost incestuous at times.
It is.
And a woman comes along, and that woman, I mean, there's times where I know it's for the TV, that it's built up for drama and stuff too, but I wanted to be like, are you fucking stupid? Like, the girl will say something, I want this for my wedding. And the mom comes in, she's like, no, he's going to wear this. We're going to do this. You're going to do that. And the son is just like, okay. And the wife to be is like, that's not what I want. And the son can't say shit. He's too
Right.
afraid to say something to his mom. So the mom is pulling all the strings in this. So when he gets with someone, mom's still in the background. Mom's not gone.
And mom is controlling his finances too. She doesn't want you to take his money. So she's keeping tab of everything, because if he's spending money on you, she's going to look at you like, you bitch, you're taking my money from me.
Yeah.
So that's an issue too. That's also financial abuse. She will help him cripple you. Yeah. She will help him. I've been in this situation so many times. The mother is helping him destroy your fucking life. She's just behind closed doors doing it very insidiously.
Or there are times where she's out front too, like according to the show, she's right front and center doing it too. So they're not just behind the closed doors. There was one mom who they were going on a romantic getaway to Vegas, and mom was like, "I'm going too." And this
you're
okay.
not. No, you're not, honey. You're not coming on my vacation.
And she was there. I think she even wanted them. They were getting a suite, and she even wanted to be in the suite with them. It's like, yeah, there are so many.
No.
And you know what is interesting with those? I think they were all single moms. Or if they weren't, the dad was very submissive and silent and just kind of went along with it.
Oh, the Jezebel Ahab dynamic. You know, in the Bible, Jezebel was the more dominant and Ahab was the toxic codependent. He more so took orders from her. So it's that dynamic. That's what I always refer to. Yeah. And that's my mother and her husband.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes, really. Yeah.
Growing up in that, that is. Did you notice it when you were young?
Oh, totally. She was in control of money. He was a drug dealer. She controlled his money.
Oh.
His mother hated her. My mother is a money hungry, very violent, very violent. Furs, diamonds. She actually got him locked up. She's the reason he ended up getting caught by the feds. But before that, she was cleaning him dry. She got a beauty salon. He bought the beauty salon, paid for everything. Money hungry. So I saw it as a child. I saw all of it. And I said, these women are dangerous. My grandmother is just like my mother too, my father's mother, which is why I feel like my father married my mom, because she's a carbon copy of his mother. So those women are dangerous to me. They're dangerous.
Did you tell me your ex, his mom was like that too? Or
she's very money hungry, and but she's more on the covert victim side. She's not out there. She's not overt. She was more insidious and sneaky with him. My mother is out there. She's fuck you, I'll do it in your face. Like she doesn't hide what she does. But his mother, she does it, but in a very sneaky, covert way, more covert, narcissistic, insidious. But no, my mother and grandmother, they don't hide what they do. They're very out there with it.
How did your mom get along with your mother-in-law? Your ex-mother-in-law, excuse me.
They've been enmeshed since my mother was in high school.
Oh, wow.
To the point my grandmother was playing matchmaker. She wanted to play matchmaker, put my mother with her other son, and it didn't work out. So she put my mother with my father. My grandmother paid for the wedding, extremely controlling. So she's had a hand in my mother and father's relationship since their teenage years. And her and my mother are like this to this day. To this day, my grandmother's sitting in a nursing home, and she wants my mother to yeah.
Because usually, well, then did your mom have brothers and sisters?
Oh, she has tons of them, lots of them.
Was your mom the golden child?
Yes, because she was a love child. My grandmother was a whore, had an affair on her, with another married man, and got pregnant with my mother, and treated my mother like a disposable, like dirty little secret, and tossed her to my great-grandmother. My great-grandmother raised my mother. My mother had no connection to her mother or father. She was like a dirty little secret. So she was spoiled because of that. My great-grandmother spoiled her and gave her whatever she wanted. and they created a monster. They created a
She gets
monster.
along with her mom though now, which is interesting.
My grandmother's deceased though. She's deceased,
Oh.
but but she was the golden child because of the way my grandmother treated her in her early childhood. My grandmother made up for it by spoiling her and giving her more attention than the other siblings, or priority. And then when my mother married the drug dealer husband, she took his money and spoiled my grandmother. So their dynamic in their relationship, it was transactional. It was never really, I don't feel it was based on love, it was transactional, but oh yeah, tumultuous background. But I have this huge understanding now. It helps me become self-aware and it's healing for me. But those types of women, I'm just like, oh, I get out of the way. These women, it's scary, Doc. They're all over social media. I could just sit and just read through comments. I could spot these women. And I'm like, oh my God. You see the misogyny and the bullying in these women and the cult-like behavior and the gang stalking. I've seen some vicious stuff. I've been a target of it too, but like, it's those women, you got to get away from them. They help these men uphold the patriarch system, and they will help these men unalive us. I have to use the word unalive. They will assist these men with unaliving us. That's how dangerous these women are. They are male worshiping pygmies.
Yeah. And I see, again, I don't know if it's social media that's bringing them out, but I don't remember this prior to social media, it being, I guess because the circle was smaller. So you saw it in your neighborhood or at your work or whatever. But now we see it all over the place, and it's just like, what the hell?
Yeah.
What the hell? Like, are these women this way? There's a lot of times I'll look at comments and stuff and I wonder, what is your life like when you get off of the computer? Are you being abused? Are you in a healthy relationship? Are you the abuser? Because this behavior sometimes is like, fuck, like out there. Like,
I think a lot of the women, they like the abuse. If they're being abused and cheated on, they like it. But they envy women that don't tolerate it. So that's where the bullying comes in, like towards single women and women that, they chastise single women for being single. You're going to die alone. Don't tell me about my life. I'm happy now. You're miserable. And instead of leaving the man, you're going to stay there and be miserable with him. And you're just projecting your misery onto single women.
Yeah.
So that we get a lot of that on social media too,
Oh, so much projection. So much projection.
I enjoy my singlehood. No, this is the happiest I've been in my entire life. Every time I was miserable, it was because a man was right there making me fucking miserable. So I'm not gonna let no woman, and the women in my family, they're all pygmies. Oh, you can't keep a man. No, I'm complete and whole without a man. You're miserable because your man is a cheater, liar, and manipulator, but you won't leave him.
How?
You won't leave him.
Listen to that statement though. We hear it all the time, but for some reason just now when you said it, it really sunk in. That whole, you can't keep a man. Okay, so wait a minute. If a guy is a piece of shit, a guy is a fucked up asshole, a guy is an abuser, I'm supposed to keep him? I'm supposed to do everything in my power to make sure he's
Yes, according to the pygmies, yes, you are. Yes.
And it's like,
you're nothing without a man. That's their whole agenda. You need a man to be something in life, to be validated.
And if a man isn't staying, doesn't matter if he's straying, doesn't matter if he's abusive, doesn't matter if he's cheating, doesn't matter any of that. If you don't want to be with him, that means you can't keep him. You're doing something wrong.
Guess what? He doesn't want to be kept. He doesn't want to be kept. If he's sleeping around behind your back, he doesn't want to be kept by you.
And we shouldn't have to be able to keep a man. Maybe they couldn't keep us. I mean, it's just a stupid thing. You can't keep a man. It's like, what the hell does that mean? What does that mean? I can't keep a man because I don't want to be submissive and demure and dependent and
I don't want
again
to be a
submissive.
doormat. I don't want
Yeah.
to be a doormat. Hello.
So if I allow him to do whatever the fuck he wants, whatever that is, I can keep a man. If I keep my mouth shut, I don't have an opinion that's different than his. I don't ever disagree with him. I become a yes, sir, yes, ma'am, whatever.
You pay the bills, by the way.
But you keep quiet about all of it. Then you can keep a man.
Yes. Yes.
And
you're guaranteed to be miserable for the
Yes.
next 30, 40 years as well. You're going to be
That's what I was
miserable.
going
You're
to
signed
say.
up
It's
for
like
misery.
those people believe that that's what it's all about, is just having that person. You don't need to be happy. You don't need to be content. You don't need to be treated well. You just need a man.
Doc, I'm going to tell you how sad it is with my mother. I've sat back and watched her cheat with married men. She doesn't even live. She's been married to her second husband for over 30 years. He lives in a nursing home, by the way, because she doesn't want to take care of him. But she's always, oh, my husband gave me flowers today. Oh, we're happily married. She's always bragging on social media about her married life. You don't even live with this man. You can't fucking stand him. And you're also out here sleeping around with fucking men that are taken. That's been my mother's history over the last 20, 30 years. That's what she does. But she will talk down on you if you don't have a man. She will tear you to pieces.
Because she has a man and she's got everybody else's man.
Yes.
So why can't, obviously she's happy. Sadly, she'll say she's happy, but people like that really
they're miserable. They're miserable. And it's sad. She's trained my younger sister to be the same way. My sister's like a miniature narcissist. She's the golden child. Train my sister the same way. You got to be engaged, getting married. You got to have a man to be something in life. That's the ultimate goal, to be married. No, not me.
I feel like I am so jaded and cynical now, because when I hear you say that's the whole goal in life is you got to have a man, my first thought goes to, and that's going to be abusive.
Yeah.
That relationship will be, and I shouldn't feel that way. I should feel like there are, because my husband passed away and we had a great marriage. He was my best friend. We had our own business. We worked together better than we played together, because I would get frustrated when I was good at something. But and I was just telling my friend this the other night, that this should have been one of the first telling points for me in it. I just didn't listen to myself. But with my ex, I always said that I don't want to marry him. I could be committed. I can have a commitment ceremony, but I don't want to marry him, because that would tarnish the marriage that I had. Now, if I really loved him and knew that he really loved me, I shouldn't be thinking that.
Right.
But I thought that the whole time. It's like, no, this will ruin my wonderful marriage, because I already knew. Stupid me. That's a whole other story that
And he probably would have ruined your finances too if you married him. Some sort of financial loss. Yeah.
That was a big reason I did not want to marry him, because I said, my credit score is way better than your credit score. And I am not combining that.
Right.
We would have a prenup because I have a house.
Yes.
You don't. So all of that, it's like, dude, I am okay. I'm not bringing myself down by adding your financial shit.
Yes.
He and his ex got so tangled up, and I don't know who brought who down, but his credit score, I'll say,
Doc,
go on, sorry.
I need you to reiterate for my followers the importance, if they are considering marriage, because I don't want to get married, but for those that do, the importance of getting a prenup. Please reiterate.
Anything Now, if you're young and you have nothing and they have nothing, you're starting out, there's nothing to have a prenup for. But if you are
Right.
established in your career, if you have a house, I don't care how, if they're successful too, they're probably going to want a prenup as well.
Yeah.
Because my ex was successful as far as the amount of money that he earned. He was just not fiscally responsible. He thought he was, but he wasn't.
He sounded like he was disorganized.
He's an idiot. He was just like an idiot. Like, I will say, okay, this ring, because my anniversary ring, I lost a stone while I was on vacation, so I have to go get it fixed. So I'm wearing my old engagement ring from my ex. It has absolutely no meaning to it. I'm used to a ring on this finger. But when we bought this ring, I'm the one that had to get the credit card for him to pay it off, because his credit only got him like 6 months and my credit got however long.
Oh
So
no.
I had to put him on. He paid it off. He paid it. I didn't pay it. But that's the difference. It was like, if you value stuff like your credit score, stuff like your ability to have a home and pay your bills and be comfortable, yeah, you need to not lose your head when you meet someone,
right?
And you're gonna get married. It's true love. He would never take advantage of me. I am actually in November going to a week course to become a certified divorce mediator.
Whoa. Okay.
So I'm going to be doing that too. So I'll have some stories.
Congratulations.
Probably.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you will.
But you don't want to, because people think, well, we're always going to be in love. And a prenup is more like already saying we're going to be divorced. No.
Prenup is protection, darling. You better protect and cover your tail.
Because I've seen some messy divorces.
Yeah.
And people that had money. And when it comes to, again, I don't really have any desire to get married again. But
me either. For
people who have been married once or who have been in a toxic relationship and got out of it and are thinking one day they want to get married, whatever. And this goes back to not being able to keep a man or keep a man. If you need a man in your life, that's a problem.
Super problem.
You really need to go to therapy to learn to be comfortable in your own skin, to love yourself, to have self-worth and value. And I would like a man in my life to benefit and bring and add to my life. But I know what I already have. So if you can't add to my life,
if you can't make my life boost up more than what I'm doing for myself, what do I need you for?
Exactly.
What do I need you for?
You should never, honestly, I don't like to say never, it's an absolute, but literally you should never need somebody in your life. You should want somebody,
but never need.
Because once you need someone, it'll make you codependent. It'll potentially trauma bond. That person it just opens the door for not good things. No.
I just posted a video yesterday on TikTok I stitched a video of a man. He lives with his woman and she's busting her ass working 2 jobs. And it still was not enough to take care of the family. So she went and applied for food stamps and she got denied. But the reason she got denied is because the person she was living with, her man, he applied and he got the food stamps and he didn't tell her about it. He's secretly spending the food stamps behind her fucking back. So I tell women, these men will literally use you as a placeholder. They'll get into relationships with women to build themselves up. If they have kids by other women, they need a babysitter. There was another guy on TikTok, like he tried to coercively control the baby mother. He won sole custody, and he's still angry that she will not deal with him. She doesn't even want visitation. That's how bad she doesn't want to be around him. So he's complaining that he's stuck with the child full time, even though he won full custody.
He didn't want full custody. He wanted to
He wanted to control her. Yeah. Yeah. So it's like these men, they get into relationships or even marriages to build themselves up, and they're just there to use you like they're a parasite. They need you to babysit, help them pay their child support. They just get out of prison. They need to build themselves up and stack their money over here secretly. You don't know they're stacking their money behind your back. You think they're building a future with you. They're getting their lives together behind your back and preparing to leave you. So they use us. This girl called it, this girl on TikTok, she said it's world building. That's the term she coined, world building, where they're building, they only have control of the people around them, their girlfriends, their wives, their family members, and they build themselves up off of the people in their inner circle until they're able to get away and do better and get around a better circle of people or quality of people. But stop letting I tell women, stop letting these men use relationships to build themselves up. And they don't even love you or like you. They dislike you, but they need you. They need you.
And there's gonna be people, odds are high, that are going, why are they just bashing men? Why are they just bashing men? There are women that are not women. There are women that will latch onto a man for money.
Yes.
There are women that will do the same thing. However, historically, women, unfortunately, are more vulnerable to it.
Yes.
And that just goes with the fucking patriarchy and the ability to earn money and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we're not, because I know that people are going to be like, oh, they're just bashing men. They just hate men.
No, we're not.
That is not it. Because there are women that are just, what do they call it? Gold diggers.
Yeah.
There's even a word. They call them gold diggers.
Sometimes they're worse than the men. They're more sneakier and devious than the men are.
And they'll have more than one man.
Oh, totally. That's my mother. Totally my mother.
So it's not just men. It's toxic, period.
Mm-hmm.
So if there are any men listening, calm down. Calm down.
Yeah.
But again, when I say about not needing a man, even a man shouldn't need a woman.
Right.
But
most of them do. They cannot survive without women. Most of them need us. They do. They need a second mommy. They need a second mother.
I do think that that men have a harder time being alone than women.
Oh, it's a struggle for them. Yeah. Totally.
And I know that because I did my dissertation on conjugal bereavement, and men don't, when they've been married and their spouse dies, within a year, they'll find someone else. Not out of disrespect for the spouse, but because they need that companionship. Mm-hmm. They need someone there. And then they also expect the woman to be grieving with him while he's grieving his late wife. Men need the companionship. Women feel, I think, like they need the stability. Mm-hmm. But I love it because I'm talking to more and more women, and this sounds so feminist and all that, but I don't care, that are like, I'm really liking being by myself. I'm realizing that I really like being alone.
Yes, I agree.
I'm like, the only time that I really hate being alone is when I need a man to carry something heavy, lift something for me, move something for me, get to a place that I can't get. That's the only time I'm like, shit, I have to call someone now. Find someone. Like, I would love a man that I could be like, okay, do that for me, now leave.
Yeah. And this reminds me what you just said. And I'm going to do more extensive research on Donald Trump. I read somewhere that he buried his late wife on his property. But, without doing your research, most people be like, oh, that's so sweet. He must have really loved her and he wants to take care of her and her family. No. What I heard was the reason why he buried her on his property is because he received several tax breaks, because his property now turns into a cemeterial burial space, and the government will excuse him from paying taxes because now it's considered a cemetery site.
Oh God.
So even when the wife is gone, he's still milking her and using her to his benefit. That fucked me up. I said, men are not shit. Ladies, we really got to get it together and understand how their brains are wired to fucking milk us to the fucking end. Even after we're dead and gone, they're still fucking going to benefit some type of way off of our loss. So he's using her to get out of paying all type. I mean, I heard he gets out of real estate. He doesn't have to pay the real estate property taxes. He gets
and he doesn't clean up the grave either. The headstone, all that, they said it's all weeded over and everything.
When you hear the story, at first you're like, oh, that's so sweet. He must really love her. He wants to keep her close. No, the reason his wife is buried so he can get them tax breaks. That's some fucked up shit. I said, oh no, ain't no man about to use me, honey, like that. No. After I'm gone, I'm gonna make sure of that. It really changed my perspective. I said, that motherfucker is very criminal minded. Oh my God. Genius, but criminal minded. Isn't that crazy?
I knew that she was buried on his grounds because they were talking about how it's not even taken care of. It's weeded over, and
he doesn't care about her.
No,
he doesn't give a shit about her.
But I didn't know that he got tax breaks. It makes a lot of sense. I'm
a credit Joe Budden's podcast. Joe Budden spoke about it. That's where I got the information. Joe Budden said he gets all types of tax breaks because now the property becomes a cemeterial burial space, and the government will pardon him from paying certain taxes. I said, that's some low down shit. Oh my God, I will never let a man use me like that to the very end. There's no way.
Wow. Well, see, that is the epitome of a narcissistic personality disorder taken. If you didn't know that he is like, okay, it's not that we're not allowed to diagnose. We can say, based on all the traits and everything that I have seen, because a lot of our diagnosing is based on observation.
He's a sociopath, huh?
NPD, very much so NPD. And ASPD traits would make the sociopathic part of it.
Yeah.
Because a sociopathic narcissist, if they're not really called that, but they're called that, is someone with both ASPD and NPD.
Yeah.
And if you want to know what one looks like,
he's the poster boy.
Right there.
They should put his face in the dictionary next to the term.
He would love that. He would.
The mugshot. They need to put the fucking mugshot in the dictionary.
Just like my ex, who's like, they probably named the worst hurricane after me. Personally, I'm the only lead ever.
He'll take pride in that. Oh yeah, they'll take 100%. Pride in that.
100%.
Oh my God, I can't even imagine. He probably thought he was the big shit when the hurricane came out. Oh my God.
What? If that's his joy in life, I am not a part of that. I was like, I'll be damned if I'm going to let this get me down. Just because of the name of the hurricane, I'm going to make sure that I have a good time.
Yeah.
So on that note, I think we're going to wrap it up. Excuse me. And those who are probably, I know this is the end of the podcast, wondering, we're missing 2 people. Unfortunately, Heather and Ashley had other commitments, so they weren't able to make it tonight. So that's why you are not like all what's going on here. But yeah, they
Hi,
were.
Heather. Hi, Ashley. Hi. Hello, ladies.
So I want to, it's like you're not imagining things. They weren't able to make it. Hopefully, next time we have you back, because she is our regular special guest.
I will be back. I totally
regular
yes, ma'am.
special guest. Whenever she picks up the phone and says, "I want to come back," we're like,
yes,
you're back. So thank you so much. Any last words for the podcast tonight?
Oh, just to like kind of, what did we discuss? Financial abuse, and ladies, get it together, because we really, this is my thing. And, I might sound crazy saying this, but if you're going to date or even consider getting serious, we got to start getting the habit of requiring mental evaluations. I'm not moving in. I'm not marrying nobody until I know what their psyche is. And I'm open to share mine. I have nothing to hide. I'm very open about, I'm in therapy now, constantly, improving myself. But these men, if they're not open books about their mental health and, actively working on themselves, do not put yourself in a position to be used and abused financially or locked down, because that's all they're doing right now. They will build themselves up off of you. Or if they do have money, they'll control you and abuse you as well. So it's just a matter of vetting and raising your discernment, but also requiring them to step their game up mentally. And if it makes them uncomfortable, then you have your answer. He's not the guy for you.
That's the thing. There's red flags and green flags. And there's also that gray area. When you have already been in a toxic relationship, it's really hard because you want to make sure you get all the red flags. But then again, you're looking at things that might not be red flags. So it's the pattern. If you think something might potentially be a red flag, and I'm not talking about a glaring red flag. I'm talking about, I'm not sure. Watch for a pattern. Keep your ears open and your eyes open for a pattern, because there will be one.
Totally.
And you will see it. So it's not that you have to hone in on red flag, green flag, red, but if something doesn't sit right, and not hit you upside the head, not sitting right. I'm talking about, I'm really not sure about what he just said.
Right. Stand on that feeling. Do not ignore it.
Ask questions, listen to the answers, watch the behavior. Because if you have a question and they deflect, they circular talk, they gaslight, they can't answer the question,
deflect.
It's like, that's not a good sign.
No.
So, it doesn't mean get up and run right there, but it means you got to proceed with extreme caution. And our intuition, got to listen to that. You really
100%. Do. Yes.
You really do. And go to therapy, because I can't say this enough. So many times we think either we're healed, we're fine, we're good. Even if it's been a little bit since our last relationship, we don't know. Sometimes when we get in a relationship, we get triggers. That, like, recently I was triggered by something. I was telling my brother, I'm like, whoa, I hadn't felt this way in like 5 years since I left my ex. But I suddenly my brother was coming to watch my cat while we were on vacation. And for some reason, and I don't know what it was, but something was going on. And I was like, oh my God, what if he doesn't come? Oh my God, what if he doesn't show up? I know he said that something was going on. And I'm like, oh my God, that's how I used to feel with my ex every time we had plans. Is he going to be late? Is something going to come up? Is he going to cancel outright? What's his excuse going to be? What time will he finally make it here? And is it going to ruin the whole entire time? And I hadn't felt that. And my brother was like, why would you think that I'm not coming? I'm like, I don't know. But it was just weird. I woke up this morning going, why do I have this? Oh my God, if he doesn't come, I'm going to have to find other means. And it's like, whoa. I hadn't felt that in 5 years. So go to therapy, because when you're in a relationship, when you start a new relationship, sometimes you run into things that are going to trigger you. You didn't run into them because you weren't with someone, but now that you are, and therapy can also help you navigate, is this a red flag? Or is it just my hypervigilance being triggered? I mean, I will.
It's just good for maintenance. Just go for maintenance.
Yeah.
Just go, you know. I've been in it all year. I've been in EMDR. So yeah.
How's it working?
It's pretty, I love my therapist. She's amazing. It's pretty good. We take breaks from it because it gets really intense. I found myself, and I don't cry at all. I found after 1 or 2 sessions, I was bawling. So it really gets you to dig up stuff.
You know,
and you just got to push through it. Yeah.
I love, this sounds kind of, I guess, sadistic. I love when people cry in therapy. And I loved when I made my inmates cry. I loved it. Not because of like, these men are crying, but because that's when these breakthroughs come. That's when you let out stuff that.
Well, they're being vulnerable in front of you. They probably can't be vulnerable anywhere else. That's golden. That's golden.
And you're trying to hold this in.
Yeah.
Inmates, anybody, you're trying to hold all this and be brave, and this stuff doesn't bother me. And when you let it out, that's when it's like, okay, now we can get work done.
Yes, I agree.
So I love when people cry. And again, I don't mean that in a, I made you cry. But in that, it's like, it's so cathartic. Yeah. It opens the doors and stuff. So that's so good.
Yeah. No, I love my therapist. She's super empathetic, very soft spoken, and very gentle. So I feel fine crying in front of her. She's great.
The best predictor of outcome in therapy is the rapport between the client and clinician.
Yes, I agree.
So you have to click. If you do not click, it will not work. They can be the best in the world and it won't work if it doesn't click.
Right.
So, and when it does, it is literally life-changing. So I'm so glad that that is working for you.
At the very first meeting, I said, listen, if you don't know about narc abuse, I don't want to move forward. And she's like, my father was a big narc and he abused me. So we clicked right there. So she got it. So I continued with her, and it's been great ever since. So
I'm so glad. So now we are wcwycw1@gmail.com. If you have any comments, if you want to ask Spiritual Whistleblower any questions, if you want to let her know you want her back, put it in the comments on YouTube, on anything, on WCWYCW1. Click the little bell on the top of the notification button that lets you know every time we drop an episode. And thank you so much.
I'll be back anyway. Whether they want me back or not, I'll be back. So.
Oh, they will. If you look at the comments that we get on most of our podcasts, they're like, even on the ones that have nothing to do with you, they'll be like, I love SWB and I'm here for her. And we love that. We love that. But yeah, it's on the random one too. So we will be back. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me, Doc. Anytime.
Cheers.
Cheers. Take care to the next show.